Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Modern Grower is your source for time and labor-saving farm tools, such as the PaperPot Transplanter, Quick Click Seeder, and the Jang Direct Seeder. Turn laborsome tasks into free time with tools by Modern Grower. What's your take on farming, market farming in 2025 is a business? Is it viable? Do you feel good about it going forward?
I think the space, like market farming in general, there's going to be a bigger need as time moves on. Every year that passes, I think it's more important to have more farmers market farming, small scale farming, urban ag, whatever you want to call it. Right now, you mentioned earlier about COVID. Everybody jumped in there during 2019, 2020 with the uncertainty of what was going to happen in the future. And they did it more out of being scared than they did out of actually having a business plan. I want to grow my own food. I want to sell it to my neighbors. And in theory, it works. But then you actually go to do it. And on paper, it's not near as easy as it is on paper. I get a lot of backlash for what I'm about to say. But farmers markets, I think people depend on them way too much. I'll just get in a farmer's market and I'll sell everything that I have. There's been people that have been there 10, 15 years that are just scratching by, and now you're going to come in. Just because you come in doesn't mean there's a 20 or 25% increase in customers. It's that same number of customers. Now you're just splitting the pie with other farmers. So I think, and I do a lot of consulting, mainly people wanting to start. And that's the first thing every single person says. There's a good farmer's market down the street. And I hear them out, listen to them, of course, and then I always tell them, okay, that's great. But let's think outside the box, because there's already farmers there that sell into customers. And just because you go, more customers aren't going to show up. So you're taking profit from other farmers, possibly. And it's just not a good idea for that to be your only source of income, revenue that you're counting on. And I always preach to new farmers also, don't count on restaurants and grocery stores your first year or two, because they don't care about you as a farmer. They care about keeping their shelves stocked. I always tell people, grocery stores, the refrigeration part is the most expensive part of an entire grocery store. They have to have that refrigeration spot full, or they're going to cut you. They're going to say, no, you missed a week, sorry. Because they just can't afford to lose that most expensive part of a grocery store. And then restaurants are the same thing. Chefs, it sounds mean, but they don't care that your arugula got aphid infestation and you don't have it for 3 weeks because you have to replant, because their menu isn't going to change. Some of them do. They're small enough that they can be flexible with the menus. But all that to say is first, second, third, even fourth or fifth year farmers aren't normally good enough as a farmer to be able to consistently grow for these chefs, grocery stores, even farmers markets for that matter. With all that being said, I think that's where a lot of the farms have failed, is they have great produce for certain parts of the year. And then when it gets 100 degrees and they can't grow salad mix, for example, unless you're Ray Tyler, that really hurts their income, because there's only so many other things you can grow when it's 100 degrees, but they didn't plan ahead enough to have a little bit of money put back for those really bad times. In Texas, for me, July and August are my slowest times because of the heat. It's 105 plus 60 straight days. Whereas during the winter up north, that's their slow time of the year. That's when I make my most money, is in the winter. So people have to realize when their slow time is going to be, and they have to have enough money saved up in order to make it through those slow times, those first few years, so that they can just make it through those slow times. They got to have that money saved up.
Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Modern Grower is the go-to source for 100% organic, GMO-free microgreen seeds. Trusted by hundreds of growers for high quality and low prices. If you're growing microgreens, start saving at shop.moderngrower.co.